It's time to step inside the Octagon with your host, Ike Feldman.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number one, Herdine has called a stop to this contest based on a doctor's stoppage. Declaring the winner by TKO, Dustin the Diamond Poirier.
Yo. Whoa. That's right, everybody. Dustin gets in the last word. Good for him. That was a Freudian slip for me to miss cutting off that audio in time where Dustin says, "Shut your BA up." And good job by Dustin. Good job by this whole camp, American Top Team, for just getting it done. It's an amazing job, and I'm very excited. As I've put it out there, this is the lazy UFC chat with Ike. While the information may be the same, the speed at which your ears receive the information is definitely not the same. Lazy. It's a Saturdays, man. But I'm here at my crib, my beautiful crib. Baby's got his own crib. I got my own crib. My wife and I are very happy, very fortunate. Out on Strong Island. I don't know, the last time I did a remote recording had to be, I think, in Macedonia, November 2019. I was on my wife's rooftop, and there's a language barrier, and her family was like, is he a terrorist? Why is he setting up cameras and microphones, and why does he need everybody to be quiet and walk away? Like, I will cut off your dog's head if you do not give me baklava and beer pronto. But yeah, the last time I did a remote video broadcast, I was extremely relaxed and in the right mode, the right zen, man. It just feels right sometimes to do it. And what could be a better setting than this? If you guys can see, I'm fortunate enough, lucky, blessed enough to live pretty close to the water, just past those trees. Maybe in the winter I'll do another remote broadcast. The beach is right there. It is a hot, steamy, balmy, heavy, thick humidity day here in mid Long Island. Yeah, it's mid. But trying to think, did I miss anything this week talking about the Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier recap, the UFC 264 main event? I don't think I did. I've listened to commentary from multiple shows. If you guys have not heard the Believe You Me podcast, the great and former middleweight champion Michael Bisping tag teamed with Luis Gomez. They do a fantastic podcast. It's been going on for years. Their chemistry is phenomenal. These guys have grown. I'm very proud to see broadcasting duos grow, because there is a honeymoon period where you don't want to step on people's toes unless you're Stephen A. Smith. There's a period where you want to grow together and you kind of pass the mic around like a basketball unless you're Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is the Kobe Bryant pre Pau Gasol, post Shaquille O'Neal. He is the LeBron James pre Miami. He's a ball hog, and I guess he's looking for that teammate that he respects. And slowly but surely, Max Kellerman is growing that chemistry with him, which is cool to see. And I definitely appreciate to see broadcasters just the chemistry and the art and the craft of broadcasting, especially tag team broadcast, to grow throughout the years. I mean, what Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith had for years is going to be hard to repeat with Max. Max is younger, vibrant, but it seems like Stephen A. Smith is the older black belt and kind of does the matador a lot. Let Max talk himself into holes, run himself into holes, get him emotional. That is a skill that two people possess that I follow very closely: Stephen A. Smith and Conor McGregor. And how apropos is it that Stephen A. Smith was putting the nail in the coffin on the UFC 264 ESPN Plus broadcast when he says McGregor's done. McGregor is his best days and his peak days are behind him. And the reason why I would like you guys to, if you take anything away from this lazy Saturdays broadcast, is that be a better consumer of media. I think I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. The Voldemort of the real world, Donald Trump, really exposed how not only polarizing news networks can be, but also exposed agendas. And I've been in the game for a minute now, so I've seen the experts, the top of the food chain when it comes to talkers behind a microphone for a living, what they do to craft an opinion, to garner callers, to get you to pull over to the side of the road and scream into your hands because you're furious at the radio. And they literally don't care. They're literally just cashing the checks every single week. So if you guys can do anything, take away anything from this Lazy Days Ike broadcast, is that Stephen A. Smith doesn't expect you to remember what he said about Conor McGregor following his leg-breaking loss to Dustin Poirier. Stephen A. Smith buried McGregor, buried him. And he said a whole bunch of things. Conor McGregor will never be the same. He's not coming back. Conor McGregor is done. Questions, pushing the envelope a bit with McGregor, which was you got to respect that. But he doesn't expect you to remember what he said this past Saturday night in a year from now when McGregor returns. McGregor, on the other hand, whether it's his media team or whether it's him, he remembers everything that everybody says. And you better believe it, if he gives Stephen A. Smith the opportunity to sit down with him again, he will, A, bring up those comments, and B, make Stephen A. Smith sweat a little, which is deservedly so. If Conor McGregor comes back strong and is as confident as he was entering this past Saturday, a week ago, entering the octagon, then bet your butt that I'm not going to curse on Saturdays. bet your butt that it'd be an interview you don't want to miss. And I'm asking you guys to be a little more like Conor McGregor and myself. Pay attention to what these loud, crazy loud talk, because when the story, especially in the fight world, it could be a 3 month cycle, 6 month cycle, 12-month, 18-month cycle before the storyline comes to a head and is full circle again. Remember what they said those 18, 12, 6, 3 months prior, and see how true they are to their word. What I appreciate about Joe Rogan, especially, is how much he broadcasts himself, who he is. He's very open. He's disciplined. He's respectful. He knows that everything is recorded. There's people ready to clip bait and throw everything in his face. So he's well studied. He's well educated, well spoken, a lot of experience. And more than anything, he lets his guest, who is the expert for a certain field, do the talking. And vice versa. Say it's a scientist, it's a philosopher, it's an author, it's a radio personality. If they have something they want to ask Joe about Conor McGregor, they give him the floor, and vice versa, because there's respect there. Now, I don't agree with everything Joe Rogan says. 99% of the time, he's spot on with martial arts, with comedy, with podcasting. Those are his three expertise. He is a 10th degree black belt in those three areas. So when he speaks, everybody should listen. And the difference between Joe Rogan and Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith does not care what you say, but he should, because now he's entering my space and I care what he says and I record everything he says. And he's growing. He's showing a lot more respect, slowly but surely, to the mixed martial arts community and the world. Go look at his last coverage of the Conor McGregor fight, UFC 246, Cowboy versus Conor. So uneducated still. Joe Rogan put him in his place. That's all you guys got to know. And look at the progress. Look at Stephen A. Smith's coverage of UFC 229, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor. Stephen A. Smith cannot pronounce Mr. I can't even say Mr. Khabib's last name. Nurmagomedov. Maybe I should get that sound drop. But as the years have passed, now it's almost 3 years since that UFC 229 crazy historic fight between Conor and Khabib. As the years have passed, Stephen A. Smith has learned to pronounce Khabib's last name. So another transition, and again, I'm trying to make this fast. The main reason of this Saturday Lazy Day show, I didn't get to talk yesterday. Very busy, very busy. A lot of stuff going on, guys. A lot of stuff. I didn't get to give you guys an hour to preview tonight's fight, Islam Makhachev versus Thiago Moises. Let's do a quick run through the first fight of the main card, Gabriel Benitez versus Billy Quarantino. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody picks, how anybody's handicapping, betting, putting the line at. I'm going with my boy, Billy Quarantino. He'll have a nice quarantini after this, after his victory. So shout outs to Billy. He is a transplant Strong Island MMA member. So shout outs to Billy. Got to pick him. The next fight, Dustin Stoltzfus versus Adolfo Vieira. All eyes on Vieira. He is a world jiu-jitsu champion. He got smoked in his last fight, his first MMA loss. against, I believe it's Anthony Hernandez. Admitted the world jiu-jitsu champion. Go Google Rodolfo Vieira. Learn how to spell it first and pronounce it. This guy is a Greek Brazilian god, carved from stone. I look for him to work on his cardio, fix his mistakes. He burnt out in his last fight. Look for him to get back in the win column. So Adolfo Vieira. Next fight, Matheus Gamrot versus Jeremy Stevens. Is it Gamrot or Gamrot? I'll go Gamrot. I'm going with the upset. Now I don't know the line, but I'm assuming that Jeremy Stevens, the wily UFC vet, the banger of all bangers, the crazy man of all crazy, looking to come back fiery because he lost a paycheck in his last fight because he shoved his what should have been opponent Drakkar Close in the weigh-in, shoved him. Drakkar gets his head rocked, brain rattles around, has a concussion. The fight is canceled literally 24 hours before. Jeremy Stevens, expect him fired up, motivated, but sometimes that fire can be misplaced. So I expect Matheus Gamrot to get it done. Another French-Canadian name. Marion Reneau versus Miesha Tate, the former UFC champion, making her well-publicized return. She is off the SiriusXM chair, media chair. Do I got a curl sticking out? She's out of the studio and in the cage. Marion Reneau, I've been thinking about this take. I don't want to sound like I'm knocking her, but she is from that era of UFC fighter where it's kind of very methodical, can punch a little, kick a little, grapple a little, jits a little, wrestle a little, pressure a lot against the cage. Maybe Holly Holm's the best from that generation of the five-tool fighter. I expect Miesha Tate, who looks absolutely shredded. And again, it's the mind, body, and the soul, not just the body. Miesha Tate mind could be in the wrong place. Miesha Tate, it sounded weird. Miesha Tate's mind could be in the wrong place. Her body could be in the right place, in shape, shredded. But if she gets her bell rung in the first minute, she could have that nauseous, I don't want to be here feeling, and everything can go to poop. So I don't expect it to go to poop. Marion Reneau is not an extremely dangerous opponent. Expect her to be fired up because she is facing a former UFC champion and somebody who is going to have a lot of eyeballs on the fight. Go with Miesha. I feel time off can do some people very well. She seemed burnt out at the end of her last run in 2016. She seems reinvigorated, but it's a coin flip. I'm still going to go Miesha in this. The main event, Thiago Moises, American top teams. Thiago Moises trains with killers. He is a killer, well-rounded, striking, grappling, pressure, jiu-jitsu, heart of a lion. But he's not Islam Makhachev, and he's not on Islam Makhachev's level. Islam Makhachev, Khabib's best friend for the last 15, 17 years, has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Khabib's father, who trained both Khabib and Islam, had this plan that when Khabib would retire, Islam would be right behind him to take over. Stay on track and come to fruition. I expect Islam to either go the distance and get a feel for the 5-round main event feel, similar to Israel Adesanya versus Brad Tavares, because after that fight, which Izzy was very happy, he went 5 rounds in that fight. It was 2018, I believe, July. And after that, Izzy turned it up facing Derek Brunson, putting the whooping on Mr. Brunson, and then Anderson Silva, and then Robert Whitaker, so on and so forth and so on. So if Islam is going to be a future UFC champion, again, he trains with killers. He's at an elite gym, a gym that produced Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Islam is supposed to be the next king. They say there's 4 kings in AKA kickboxing. The 4 I just mentioned. Will Islam be the 5th king? Is he just going to be a knight? Is he going to be a jester? Is Thiago Moises going to embarrass him and show him that American top team is here to stay in the elite gym? I feel that Islam has a card that is always here, and the energy of Khabib's now passed away father, that gives him the edge. Now, I don't know if he's going to be a UFC champion. If he demolishes Thiago Moises in the first or second round, grapples, go for submissions, gets it done. Guys, he's looking like he's one of the elite grapplers in mixed martial arts already. If he just cuts through Thiago like a knife, like a hot knife through butter, I think that's how it goes, and just shows that he's next in line, we're not going to know that tonight. Again, he can go 5 rounds. It could be a back and forth battle, and he can learn a lot more about himself. And us as educated fight fans will learn a lot more about Islam Makhachev if he does go 5 hard rounds and gets that feel of how much energy he conserved, how much he used, where he needs to make adjustments. In 5 rounds, I assume, never going 5 rounds, I assume these fighters have to empty their tool belt and really dig deep that extra gear in their soul and put it on display in a 5-round UFC main event. So we will learn a lot about both these fighters. I expect to learn more about Islam. It should be his night. If Thiago Moises pulls off the upset, we've seen crazier thing in this sport, but it should be Islam. No doubt. All right, let's close this out. Let's hit the outro again. Lazy days, lady Saturdays. It's ladies' night. And it feels alright. Lazy days with Ike. Can you blame me? Can you blame me? I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. I'll work on my voice cracks. I'll work on my takes, but you guys need to work on paying attention. Some of these comments I've seen, it seems like you guys are in left field, laying on the grass, enjoying the sun. But I can't blame you. I can't. If you're chilling out, God bless you. But I love you guys. Hopefully my picks hit. I think they will. Tune in. I'm going to tune in. Peace.